I agreed to house sit for my sweet old neighbor. Then I found her sister's message on the wall. They say some houses have memories, but I didn't believe in that kind of nonsense. At least, not until the summer I agreed to house sit for my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, while she visited her sister down in Florida. I'd lived next door to her for years, and she'd always been kind. The sort of lady who baked cookies in the fall and put fresh flowers on her porch every morning. Her house was one of those charming old Victorians, with stained glass windows, creaky floorboards, and a wraparound porch that begged for lemonade and rocking chairs. When she asked me to look after it for 2 weeks, just feed the cat, water the plants, keep the mail from piling up, I didn't hesitate. I was between jobs and figured the change of scenery would be nice, maybe even relaxing. The first few days were uneventful, except for the usual odd creaks and groans you'd expect from a century-old house. But by the third night, something started to feel off. It began subtly, lights flickering for no reason, the TV turning on by itself, a cold draft that seemed to follow me from room to room. I tried brushing it off. Old wiring, faulty appliances, poor insulation, logical explanations. But logic doesn't help you sleep when you wake up at exactly 3:17 a.m. to the sound of footsteps pacing in the attic, directly above your bed, even though you know no one else is in the house. The first time it happened, I grabbed a flashlight and climbed the narrow staircase to the attic, heart pounding so hard it made my hands shake. I pushed open the heavy door, half expecting to find a raccoon or maybe even a squatter. But all I saw were dusty boxes, old furniture draped in sheets, and the suffocating smell of mothballs. I stood there for several minutes, frozen in place, ears straining for the slightest sound. Nothing. I told myself it was just the house settling. But the next night, it happened again. Same time, same sound. And this time, I swear I heard something else. A faint, metallic melody, like a music box playing a tune just out of reach. I tried to find the source, but couldn't. I checked every drawer, every closet, every inch of that attic. Still nothing. The cat, Jasper, started acting weird, too. He used to sleep at the foot of my bed, but now he wouldn't even come upstairs. He'd sit at the bottom of the staircase and stare upward for hours, ears twitching, body stiff. One night, I woke up to find him hissing at the air in the hallway, back arched like he was ready to pounce. That was the same night I found the door to the basement wide open, something I knew for a fact I had locked earlier. I went down with a flashlight and nearly screamed when I saw a figure standing at the far end of the room. But it was just a mirror, tall and cracked, angled in such a way that it reflected me before I realized it. My laugh sounded hollow, even to my own ears. But then, just as I turned to leave, I saw something scrawled on the basement wall behind the boiler. Something I hadn't noticed before. In faded red letters, someone had written, "She's still here." I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the living room couch with all the lights on, watching reruns of old sitcoms, trying to drown out the growing paranoia in my head. The next morning, I did some digging. I called Mrs. Thompson under the pretense of asking about the plants, and casually brought up the attic and the music box. There was a long pause on the other end. Then she said, in a voice that sounded much older than it had the week before, "You've heard it too, haven't you?" That one sentence made my blood run cold. She told me about her sister, Margaret, who had lived in the house with her as a child. Margaret had always been troubled, she said, prone to mood swings, to strange behavior. She'd talk to people who weren't there, claim to see things in the mirrors. One day, when they were teenagers, Margaret disappeared. No note, no sign of forced entry, just gone. Their parents told the police she must have run away. But Mrs. Thompson never believed it. She always suspected Margaret was still in the house somehow, trapped, hiding, watching. She told me she'd hear the music box sometimes too, especially when she was alone. That was why she never went into the attic anymore. After that phone call, everything got worse. The footsteps became louder. The music box played longer. Sometimes I'd walk into a room and find the furniture rearranged slightly, as if someone had tried to make it feel familiar again. I started seeing movement in the mirrors, just a flicker, a flash, but enough to know I wasn't imagining it. One night, I caught my reflection smiling back at me when I wasn't. That's when I decided I had to leave. I packed my things and told Mrs. Thompson I couldn't stay there anymore. She understood. I think, in some twisted way, she expected it. A few days later, she called me again. Her voice was calm, too calm, and she said, "Margaret came to visit me last night." She said, "Thank you." Then she hung up. I haven't seen her since. A "for sale" sign went up in front of her house a week later, and last I heard, she moved to a care facility down south. I tried to put the whole thing behind me, tell myself it was just stress, maybe even a shared delusion. But sometimes, when I'm home alone, I still hear that same music box tune, soft, delicate, distant. And once, just once, I woke up at 3:17 a.m. to find my cat staring at the ceiling, ears twitching, tail stiff. That house may be miles away now, but I don't think I ever truly left it. And I don't think Margaret did either. And that is the truth I've carried with me ever since. I don't expect you to believe me. Most people don't. But if you've ever walked into a room and felt like you weren't alone, if you've ever woken up at 3:17 a.m. for no reason, just know. You might not be imagining it. Some things cling to us, some houses never forget, and some spirits never let go. If this story sent a chill down your spine, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps more people find these stories. And if you enjoy diving into dark mysteries like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss what's hiding just beneath the surface. I'll be back soon with another tale you won't forget. Until then, sleep tight, if you can.